Hello my friends, this is FC7, and today I am sharing my playthrough of the Druid Epic Quest and Retelling. The reward from this quest will change the look of your primary into one of your epics. That is either the 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, or the Retelling one, which is special. So I'll just show a couple of them here. This is the 1.5. And this is the 2.0. As you can see, there's particles to this one. And the last one here is the unkempt, which is the reward from the retelling part of this. So if you're familiar with the quest, once you enter Jaggedpine and get to this spot, the quest will trigger. So I'm just showing the quest triggering here. I originally did this video a few years ago, but I decided to redo it because the quality was not so great. So if you're familiar with my channel and this particular quest, I'm taking that one down and replacing it with this one. So basically, when you reach this point, the game changes into an instant and tries to teleport you in. So it might take a little bit, but eventually you will get to this point. So you will see that NPC named Sara Treewind, and just press stand, and you will start the quest in Jaggedpine. So then hail her and go through the quest dialogue. I'll show it up here on the screen. Just keep clicking on the trigger words. And eventually you will have to go find another NPC. The NPC you'll need to find, his name is Waldo Pinemyer. So after you finish that, what I did is just put tracking up to find him. I'll show a little bit more of the dialogue on the screen for those interested in the lore of the quest. So there's the tracking window, and I believe he's the very last one right there. Just track where he is. He's not very far. Right here. So then I'll just hail him, and you need to write out the words, "I wish to commune with the spirit of the Rainkeeper," and that will trigger in the next part of the quest. So just go through the text here. And again, I'm just leaving it up on the screen for those interested in reading the lore of the quest. So once that happens, you will be attacked, I believe. Oh, first you have to sit and wait till it rains. So you have to meditate, which just means press and sit, and it will begin to rain. And I believe an agent of corruption will spawn and attack. So he should be spawning soon. So there he is. And he's really easy to defeat. Right now my character's level is 110, so it wasn't much of a fight here. Maybe for a lower level druid it might be a little bit of a problem. So this next step of the quest involves this ruin, and be careful if you get too close because it does hit you for about 20,000 in damage, I believe, so don't get too close to it. And the trick to completing this next step of the quest is pushing that ruin to each one of the vines that are underneath rocks, and you just do that using a magic spell. Any magic spell will push the vine forward in the direction you're facing. Or push the rune forward, excuse me. So then you need to push it so that it is right next to the vines. And then you use either a fire or a cold spell to make the ruin bigger or smaller. So fire will make it more intense, which means that the ruin grows. And then ice will make it smaller. So you have to push these to the vines, and you can kind of tell if the vine is really big. The rune will have to be big as well. And if it's a smaller vine, you need to shrink the ruin with an ice spell. So it's just a matter of growing the ruin and shrinking the ruin so that it affects the vine underneath. So I will just show each vine being destroyed by the ruin just by using fire spells and cold spells and the magic based spell to push. Okay, so the three spells I'm using are Roar of Kolos as my magic-based spell for pushing the ruin, Frost Ray of Crystals as my ice-based spell for shrinking the ruin, and Summer Sunfire as my fire-based spell for growing the ruin. So it's just a matter of pushing the ruin to each one of the vines, and then either casting fire or ice to shrink or grow the ruin to destroy the vine. And there's like 6 or 7 of these. So there's just a couple more, and this is the biggest vine right here, I believe next to the smallest vine. So there's another really small one down here, and the ruin will go in the direction that you're facing. So just face the direction you want the ruin to go and cast your magic-based spell. We'll just shrink this one. And sometimes there might be line of sight issues, so just get in the proper area to cast. Then one more should do it. Oh, there we go. Now on to the very last one. There it is. Okay, now that that part is done, the next part of the quest will begin. And a giant wolf will spawn right in this area. To the left, I believe. It's the Great Wolf. And you have to cast a spell on yourself that will turn you into a wolf in order for him to talk to you. So Druids have a spell that casts an illusion on themselves. And I originally tried to cast a lower level version of the wolf spell, but it was blocked by something, so I'm going to cast a different one after stripping the buffs. I had some buffs that interfered with it. So now that I'm a wolf, I can talk to the Great Wolf. And he'll give you a window that pops up that involves lots of lore. So I'm going to keep that on the screen for a few seconds for the people who enjoy the lore out there. So just go through all that. I wish I had time to read and appreciate the lore of these great quests, but unfortunately I don't. But I know a lot of people do. So then go through the quest information here, the keywords. And a wolf pack will spawn. And you'll need to follow them. So just follow them to an area where there are poachers. There'll be tents with poachers around. And they'll start attacking all the wolves, and the wolves will start attacking them. So you just help to defeat the poachers. There's a lot of them. Let's just put it that way. So this will be quite time consuming. Usually I just root rot them off, just click root and just dot them up. And I also cast some damage shields on the wolves so that each time the wolves get hit by the poachers will take damage. That's a nice tip given to me by somebody that was watching my live stream of this, because I was doing a live stream of this quest a few days ago. But I'm not going to show the entire fight here because there are so many poachers. Basically just defeat all the poachers in the area. So this part is really just fighting. And I usually just, like I said, just assist the wolf pack. And then if you have to aggro kite, just do that. So then I'm cutting to the last poacher that was defeated. And now it's time to move on to the other part of the quest, the next part of the quest. So just follow them and be sure to invis yourself. because you'll have to eavesdrop on a conversation. So make sure you're invis. I think it even shows you on the screen that you have to invis yourself. So then up here, you have to be careful. I usually just stand on this rock and listen to them talk. And I think if your character knows Elder Elvish, the words will come through understandable, but this character does not know a lot of different languages yet, so it's coming off as gibberish on the screen. Okay, at this point, 2 unkempt acolytes spawn, and they are rangers, so they'll be shooting at you. Even if you try to root rot them, they'll be shooting arrows. So make sure that you have some healing up. And I usually just try to aggro kite them or root rot. So after they're defeated, you have to head to the southwest part of the zone, and there will be a meeting of the council. So we'll just head to the southwest portion of the zone here. You don't see it off screen, but I'm trying to look at my compass. So in order to get the epic retelling part of this quest, what you'll need to do is not kill any of the animals in the zone. Like I could have just killed that wolf, but I decided not to. And you need to pick the correct trader in the council. So there are actually 2 ways to win the retelling part of the quest. You can't kill any of the animals in the zone, and you have to pick the correct accuser on the first try. And I'll explain that in a bit. If you're just doing the request part, that's fine, but if you're doing the retelling part for the unkempt ornamentation, you have to follow those 2 rules. Now here's the council. And I believe you have to approach them in wolf form again. So I'm going to cast wolf form, meditate, and then go over there when I have mana, because there are a couple fights left. So I'll just regen some mana and edit it a bit so that I'm near 100%. I'll go over and talk to the council elder, which is the bear over here. And then just go through the dialogue. So at this point you have to find the trader in one of these animals. So the way to do it, I believe, is to cast Sense Animal. And you have to stand in front of each animal, and if it points backwards, then that's a real animal. If it doesn't point backwards, then you know that it's the imposter, and you can accuse them. So Sense Animals, level 1 spell, you just go over to one of these random mobs like this Pine Wolf, and he's going to be the one to accuse, because if you see, I cast Sense Animal and it points to the mob next to him, so it's the Pine Wolf. So then you just defeat the Pine Wolf, or whoever the traitor is, and after he's dead, then the real villain will come out, which is Jale Phlintoes. Hope I explained that correctly. Any questions, just leave them in the comments. And remember, if you're going after the Retelling part of this quest for the unkempt ornamentation, you have to do this quest 3 times. And you can't kill any animals. And you have to get the accuser on the first try. And this one doesn't count as an animal, so you don't have to worry about that. So then there's Jale. And he'll start attacking. So I just aggro-kite him around for a bit. So after a while, 2 other mobs will spawn and start attacking him. Okay. An unkempt imposter. So you probably have to get his health down a bit, and he'll turn into the unkempt imposter. So then I just root him off. And eventually, there'll be 2 mobs that spawn next to him and start attacking. And the quest is almost complete. They should spawn any second. There they go. There's like a wolfman, and I don't know what that other thing is. That wolf model is really cool. I don't think I see him in the game much. So then, after the quest is complete, it will take you right out of the instance right away. So now we're back in regular Jaggedpine, and I'm going to teleport to Felwithe, or as close to Felwithe, and run in and finish the quest here. So then I just hail her and collect my reward, which is the unkempt, because this is the 3rd time doing the quest, and I followed all the hints, and there's the reward. So I'll just put that onto my primary, see what it looks like. You also get a achievement. So there's the unkempt, and that's the end of the quest. I hope I explained everything okay. Hopefully this was better than my other video. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And I think that's the end of my Druid series, unless I go back and do my 1.0 someday. So I hope everybody has a great day.